Morning. Today we are going to deal with 10 standards lesson The Gift of Maggie, third part. And in the last classes we have discussed about how Della and Jim lived their life with a little of income, and in that income also Della tried to save £1 and 87 cents for just wanted to gift something good for her husband Jim. So their apartment was a rented one, and Jim, though in earlier days he had £30 a week as his income, but later it was reduced to £20 a week. Still, Della could manage to save from the vegetable vendors and butcher shops. So from these shops, she could save while buying things. She could save 80 £1 and 87 cents. Here, she wanted to give something precious to her husband, as she thinks she had the idea that her husband is also very precious to her. He too is something great for her. So that is why she wanted to give something good on the eve of Christmas. So she had no idea what to do with that £1 and 87 cents. So suddenly she gets an idea of selling of her hair. That I should remind you, Della and Jim had two things, precious things, that is this precious possession. Della had her long hair, and Jim had a golden watch which was given by his grandfather. So these are the two things, precious possessions of Della and Jim, which is no one would like to lose such things of the life. Now Della decides that she would sell her hair and get some money to get some good gift, to gift it to her husband. Now she goes out. When the idea of selling this hair came to her mind, she just goes out to the salon, and the one who buys the hair, she goes to that salon and she sold her hair for £20. Now for 2 hours she searches in shops, in the markets, for good gift, and finally she finds a one that was a platinum strap for the watch, and she thinks this simple was the platinum strap, that chain was very simple, but it was gorgeous looking. It was very by looking itself you can make out that platinum chain was very precious one. Now she bought that for £21, and the remaining £87, 87 cents, she brings it back to home. Then she started worrying what her husband would think of her, and she starts praying to God that oh God, oh God, do something that her husband should not still think that she is beautiful without the hair. Now coming to, and she gets ready everything when he comes to home, and now the door opened, 25th para. Now the door opened and Jim stepped in and closed it. He looked thin and very serious. Poor fellow. He was only 22 and to be burdened with a family. He needed a new overcoat and he was without gloves. So there was not much income for Jim. So what he was wearing was very old stuff, and he didn't have even gloves. He is just 22 years old, and he is having a family now. Maintaining family in that income would be very difficult, but he is still managing to do so. Para number 26. Jim stopped inside the door, as immovable as a setter at the scent of quail. His eyes were fixed upon Della, and there was an expression in them that she would not read. She could not read, and it terrified her. It was not anger, nor surprise, nor disapproval, nor horror, nor any of the sentiments that she had been prepared for. He simply stared at her fixedly with that peculiar expression on his face. So now Jim enters the house. He looks at Della, who was standing there. Then he had such expression on his face that Della never had seen such expression on his face all through her life. It was not anger, and it was not surprise, nor it was not any kind of disapproval. It was not horror or any kind of sentiments. So she was not prepared. She was prepared to face Jim in the anger, in surprise, or any kind of disapproval or horror. So she was not ready to face him. The expression he has shown, she never expected that. Della wriggled off the table and went for him. So, wriggled, underline here, wriggled off the table and went for him. Jim, darling, she cried, don't look at me that way. I had my hair cut off and sold because I couldn't have lived through Christmas without giving you a present. It will grow out again. You won't mind, will you? I just had to do it. My hair grows awfully fast. Say Merry Christmas, Jim, and let's be happy. You don't know what a beautiful, nice gift I have got for you. So, when he was standing there staring at her, Della welcomes him by saying, don't stare like this and come on, I have sold my hair just to buy a gift for you. And she also consoles him by saying that my hair grows awfully fast. It grows very fast. So then say Merry Christmas to me. You have cut off your hair, asked Jim, laboriously, as if he had not arrived at that present fact yet, even after the hardest mental labor. He asked him, have you cut off your hair? Cut it off and sold it, Della said. Don't you like me just as well anyhow? I am we without my hair, and she tries to convince him that even without my hair, I am the same person. Won't you like me without my hair? Jim looked about the room curiously. You say your hair is gone, he said with an air almost of idiocy. So now he is in such a shock that he is not able to believe that his wife had sold the hair. Why he is in such a shock, you will come to know in the later paragraphs. You needn't look for it, said Della. It's sold. I tell you, sold and gone. Gone too. It's Christmas Eve, boy. Be good to me. For it went for you. So she tries to convince him by saying, you just don't search for my hair in this house. Actually, I have sold it. It is why I sold it. It is for you. I wanted to give something good for you on this Christmas Eve. So I cannot do giving anything good for you. So that is why I have sold my hair. Maybe the hair on my head were numbered. She went on with sudden serious sweetness. But nobody could ever count my hair for you. Shall I put the chops on, Jim? So she tries to convince him. Then she asks, shall I put the chops on? She wanted to give some food to Jim. Out of his stress, Jim seemed quickly to wake. He unfolded his Della. For 10 seconds, let us regard with discreet scrutiny some inconsequential, underline this word, and scrutiny also please underline, inconsequential object in the other direction. $8 a week or a million a year. What is the difference? A mathematician or a wit could give you a wrong answer. The Magi brought valuable gifts, but that was not among them. This dark assertion will be eliminated later on. So, what the Jim, he was in such a shock that he hugged Della for a few seconds, and he is trying to come out of the shock he had been to. 35. Jim drew a package from his overcoat pocket and threw it upon the table. So whatever he had bought for Della, he just threw it on the table. Don't make any mistake, Dell, he said, about me. I don't think there is anything in the way of a haircut or a shave or a shampoo that could make me like a girl or any less. But if you will unwrap that package, you will see why you had me going a while at first. So now he tells. He threw a packet, whatever he had brought for Della, and threw it on the table and says, see, it is not the matter of that your haircut or your how even if you shave your hair, it will be you will be the same person for me. Even it doesn't matter how you look like or how you cut your hair, how you hold your hair, how you shampoo your hair. It doesn't matter. But what does matter is what I have brought here. It is about your hair. So you will understand me why I was in such a shock seeing you without hair. White fingers and nimble tore at the string and paper, and then an ecstatic please underline, ecstatic scream of joy, and then, alas, a quick feminine change to hysterical tears and wails, necessitating the immediate enjoyment of all the comforting powers of the Lord of the flat. So she opened the package and she was in such a surprise and she was so happy to see that gift inside the packet, and suddenly she changed. It became hysterical and tears rolled from her eyes, and she just could not believe that whatever he had bought was she cannot use it. For there lay the combs, the set of combs, side and back, and Della had worshipped for a long in a Broadway window. Beautiful combs, pure tortoise shell with jeweled rims, just the shade to wear in the beautiful vanished hair. They were expensive combs, she knew, and her heart had simply craved and yearned over them without the least hope of possession. And now they were hers, but the tresses that should have adorned the coveted adornments were gone. So now, when she opened the packet, she came to know this is the same combs, a set of combs which she was longing to have. She wanted to have these combs in the shops. While she had been to shopping, she always longed to have this type of combs which was made of pure tortoise shells. Now, these combs are very expensive. Now, it is hers, but she cannot use it. But she hugged them to her bosom at the length she was able to look up with dim eyes and a smile and say, my hair grows so fast, Jim. So now again she tries to convince Jim and she says to herself and to Jim that my hair, I will use it. Today or tomorrow I will definitely going to use this as my hair grows very fast. And then Della leaped up, a little side cat cried, oh, oh. Jim had not yet seen his beautiful present. She held it out to him eagerly upon her open palm. The dull, precious metal seemed to flash with the reflection of her bright and ardent spirit. So she was happy to give whatever she had brought for Jim, and she puts her in the palm and presents it to her husband Jim. Isn't it a dandy, Jim? I hunted all over town to find it. You will have to look at the time 100 times a day now. Give me your watch. I want to see how it looked on it. So now she is giving the strap, or not strap exactly, the chain, platinum chain, to husband Jim. Then she tells, give me a watch. I wanted to fix it, and then you have to, after wearing this platinum chain with your watch, you have to look at your watch 100 times a day. Instead of obeying, Jim tumbled down on the couch and put his hands under the back of his head and smiled. So he just tumbled down and sat on the couch, and then he smiled. Dell, said he, let's put our Christmas presents away and keep 'em while they are too nice to use just at present. I sold the watch to get the money to buy your combs, and now suppose you put the chops on. So what he says is, let these things be. We'll keep aside all these things. We know that these things are precious, but we will keep these things aside, because whatever you are searching for, whatever you have brought, for the golden watch you have bought the chain, but the watch itself, the golden watch I have sold to get your combs. The Magi, as you know, were wise men, wonderfully wise men, who brought gift to the babe in the manger. They invented the art of giving Christmas presents. Being wise, their gifts were no doubt wise ones, possibly bearing the privilege of exchange in case of duplication. And here I have, namely, related to you the uneventful chronicle of two foolish children in a flat who most unwisely sacrificed for each other the greatest treasures of their house. But in a last word to the wise of these days, let it be said that all who give gifts, those two were the wisest of all who give and receive gifts, such as they are wisest everywhere, they are wisest, they are the Magis. So last para says about the Magis. Who are the Magis? They are the men who brought gift to the babe. Babe here is Christ, Jesus Christ, in the manger. So when Jesus Christ was born, these Magi, the men, brought a gift, a very selected gift to gift it to as a Christmas present to Jesus Christ, and even they used to return, for if they think that if they have any doubt that this object is just a duplication, they would just return and get a good gift. So Magis are wise men. So as these two, Della and Jim, were also wise, but unfortunately they stupidly sold the whatever precious possessions they had with them. They sold it just for the sake of gifting something good to each other. So they once for all lost the possessions. But the happiness in giving, you cannot lose it to the loved one. You cannot lose the happiness. That feeling of happiness is precious than the possession. What the author is trying to say is, the feeling of happiness is precious than the objects you possess. However precious it may be, the happiness cannot be compared to the happiness of the feeling, or the feeling of gifting something good to the loved one. So there are so many words here, almost 1.5 page of 2 pages of meanings are given. Please read the lesson, because it is typically Old English, and if you read it, you can answer any type of questions. Read it, understand it, and even try to understand the theme behind the story. Simple story. Two people, Della and Jim, they loved each other, and they had precious possessions with them to gift in the Christmas Eve. They wanted something precious or good thing to be given to each other, so they had less money, or and therefore they sold whatever precious things they had with them, and by chance for what they have sold, the same thing is given off by each other, and the present they brought was useless for them. So this is what love is important, and the thought of giving is important. The feeling of happiness in giving is important. So till my next video, take care. Namaste.